Fuck. Do you know what? I just remembered that I listened to you three do the podcast last week and it was a train wreck. So now I'm like, why did I agree to do this?
Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, episode 10, the official podcast of WellPlayed. I'm Zach. I'm here with Dylan.
Hello.
Edward.
Hey, y'all.
And Jordan. How are we all doing tonight?
Doing great.
It's a lovely 13 degrees over here in Sydney, so I'm good.
Yeah, the coffee's starting to get to me. I'm feeling a bit nervous at the moment. A bit jittery for some reason, but yeah, not bad.
Is that for me like 6 a day?
Three so far.
So far.
There's only 3 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I might be a bit reserved tonight. Just have one more. I think.
don't believe it.
Did you have a
Just in time for
coffee
Saturdays.
before you go to the gym? Just get really jacked up?
No.
No.
Steroids for that.
Nah,
pre-workout,
pre-workouts. Pre-workouts what you go for that. I feel like most of the time I have coffee with milk though, so like I don't want to do that before the gym. It's not really
You
a great
should
feeling.
absolutely do it before the gym one day.
Nah, God no. I'll forget. I'll be doing something and just trying not to yak. So
Yeah,
no,
do
try
it
to
when
avoid it.
Do it when you do cardio.
No.
I remember when we played football, my old housemate and I, it was about 42 degrees pre-season training, and we had a coffee before footy training.
Yeah.
And we got there, and the coach made us do from memory, it was like 3 400 meter sprints, 3 300 meter sprints, 2 200 meter sprints, and like 100 meter sprint. And so we had to go 1 2 3 4 and then back. And by the time we got back on the way back, like back to the second lot of 200 meters, I was like, my head I thought was going to explode. It was the worst decision I've ever made for like before sport.
You had to plug your illustrious football career in the podcast at some point, didn't you?
Yeah, well.
Do you want to hear something even worse?
Go on.
So one time I ate 5 of those Coles cinnamon donuts and then my wife invited me to go to the gym and I did, and then I threw up.
Yeah, I ate a whole pizza. I ate a whole pizza once, then went to the gym, and it wasn't
terrible
pretty.
idea.
Yeah,
Did you have a protein shake before the
I
gym?
do. No, after. Surely, come on.
After? Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't go to the
Yeah.
gym.
What kind of person has it before the gym?
I don't know. You might need a
Free
That's
protein.
what pre-workout's
Pre-
for.
pre-workout. Sorry. Okay,
It's-
what's pre-workout? Like that's just what is that?
It's basically
Is that a-
cocaine, isn't it?
So
It's
video
essentially-
games, hey?
Yeah. Let's get on there. Let's not talk about gym cocaine.
Yeah, you pre-workout for video games, like Beat Saber.
Yeah. Do you have a workout like a pre-workout for video games?
It's Mountain Dew.
True.
Mine's sitting on the PlayStation dashboard for like an hour, deciding what to play and then turning it off. That's my pre-workout.
I think Zax is just staring at Elex going, fuck, I have to platinum that soon.
Yep.
Basically, yeah. I did I went back through and looked at the trophy lists the other day, and I thought I've at least got one trophy. Surely, I haven't got any trophies because I remember playing it for half an hour.
Did you get past the intro?
I don't know. I got past whatever. It's gonna be. No, I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna beat my list. Anyway, what have we all been playing, Jordan?
I've been playing Civilization 6, trying to get a leg up on my list. Dylan, you were full of shit. There is no actual single player in that game, so I resorted to having a turn limit of 2,000 turns,
Right.
which is going to take a very fucking long time.
Hey, mate. No need to attack me. I was only listening to howlongtobeat.com. You can blame them. Take it up with their administration.
I'm going to blame you. You're the
Oh,
middleman.
that's okay. I'll allow it for this time.
Is that all that you've been playing?
I've obviously been playing Warframe. I think I put in like another 50 hours since the podcast.
No brainer.
Jesus.
And then also been flexing this Sennheiser headset that I'm
Oh
reviewing.
yes. How is it?
So sound quality wise, it's really good. It's a bit on the tight side. just because of the way the actual cups are, the spring-loaded mechanism for how they fit is a bit tighter than a lot of the headsets that I use, and the mic is kind of crap, but it's what you get with most headset mics. They're all kind of crap. So yeah, but overall it's pretty good. I don't know how much it costs. I'm pretty sure that'll factor into my final thoughts on it, because if it's too expensive,
What's the
I'll be
model?
like, yeah. It is the GSP 670 wireless.
Let's have a look.
Looking at the box, it works on the PC and PS4, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's a PC and Xbox model.
$500.
Fuck, Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. That costs the
That's-
same as my
That's RRP.
It's a bit
RRP.
steep.
Yeah, that is really steep. Even if it sounds good, I could show you how the mic sounds if you want right now.
No,
All right. Don't say didn't offer.
I won't. Dylan,
Yep. What's up?
what have you been playing?
So, played a couple things. I mentioned last week I was playing a game called Valhalla, a cyberpunk bartender action, the visual novel, which I wasn't crash hot on at the time. I thought it was okay. Managed to play through the second half of that and actually came away quite happy with it. In the end, like it kind of grew on me a bit.
So is it better or worse than Her Total Boyfriend?
Well, I haven't played that, and I don't want to be like a pigeon man, so
As
Not
if,
yet.
man. Come on. It's like
maybe.
the best game ever next to Troll and I.
Maybe I'll give it like a go now that I've played through that. But
And
considering I hadn't played, no, not again. But yeah, considering I hadn't played through any visual novels before, I left that one quite happy in the end. And it's got a new game plus, which is kind of self-aware that it's a new game plus as well. So that's quite cool. Also whipped out the mighty PSVR for a little bit because I hadn't really touched it for a while. Kind of want to get a bit of use out of it. And played Batman Arkham VR for the first time. So I'd never gotten to that, and I had a couple of hours spare before bed, and I was like, oh, well, I'll give this a go. Played through the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
And,
You messaged me about it so randomly.
Yeah, I was just like, have you played this? I really enjoyed it. Obviously, really short, but, it was it's the sort of VR game that you'd show people that aren't gamers, just to show them like what the VR is capable of doing. And also, which I'll probably speak about maybe a little bit later if big old Zachary lets me. I've been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses for the last week, and I think it comes out on the 26th if I remember correctly. And if I'm allowed to talk about that one, I'll gush about it a bit later. But I'm really loving that game at the moment. It's probably one of my best games of the year so far. That's it for me so far. I've been playing that, played about 30 hours. That's all I've been playing really this week.
Edward, what
Yeah,
have you been spending your time doing?
I've been smashing out Dragon Quest Builders 2 for my review, and it's it's probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite games of the year so far. It's just it's great.
You said it was would you write one of your games of all time?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like I loved Dragon Quest Builders 1, and this just improves on it in every possible way and adds so much stuff in. And I've put something like, I don't know, 60, 65, 70 hours into it. And I just finished the main story last night, and it unlocked a whole bunch of other stuff that was, a complete surprise, because I thought I'd seen everything the game had to offer. And then it's like, bam, new stuff. So it's pretty wild.
I got a question about that game, by the way.
Yeah.
Is it as long as the first game was, or longer, or?
Oh, it's longer. It's way longer.
Yeah, that game was huge. The first game was huge enough already.
Yeah.
It's already about 60 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
right.
it's great. And it encourages you to, there's sort of like a hub kind of space, and it encourages you to sort of build there and stuff. Like, I know there was I can't remember what it's called, Terra Incognita, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
The first game. But the way that kind of stuff is supported in this one is way, way better.
And do you still do the 4 separate story sort of things, in the first game with the hospital world, and then the other ones and stuff like that?
Yeah. So you travel to different islands, and each one has a kind of a story associated with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool.
It's awesome. And then before that, I was playing Sekiro.
Hell
'Cause that's
yeah. The actual game of the year.
Yeah, that's a close second. In fact, it's kind of in a tie between Dragon Quest Builders 2, Sekiro, and Hollow Knight because I've played. That was the last 3 games that I've played.
Yeah, but Hollow Knight was like 2017.
Yeah, but I only played it this year.
Doesn't count. That's a lie.
Fuck you then.
Rude. Wow.
So for people like me who have no idea, what actually is Dragon Quest Builders?
Okay, so it's a spin-off of the Dragon Quest series by Square Enix, which are like a series of RPGs, JRPGs, that have been around for ages and ages, like since the 80s, I think.
Kieran hates them.
And the what, sorry?
Kieran hates Dragon Quest.
Yeah, probs. Well, it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, Dragon Quest Builders is a kind of like a spin-off that's similar to Minecraft in that you go around the world, break down objects, use them to build other stuff, build shelter in that kind of blocky way. But they use a JRPG story kind of setting to justify why you're building stuff. So like in Minecraft, you go and you dig out some dirt and you build a little house, whereas in Dragon Quest, it'll be like, hey, our house was destroyed. Can you please build us one? So then it's like it gives you a reason to build and expand and try stuff. And you can make different pieces of furniture and stuff, which you can use to put in rooms, and it changes it into different things. So like if you put like a bonfire and a chest in a room, it turns it into a kitchen. Or if you put a bed in a pot, it becomes a bedroom and stuff like that. So yeah.
Cool. I can't say I've ever seen it play, but sounds not for me.
Well, you know me, I just love that shit. I love anything like that.
You gotta be careful there, Zach, otherwise it'll fight you.
It'll what?
He'll fight you.
I'll fight anyone.
He would fight. He will fight me. Next time that we go to watch a movie, we'll fight before the movie.
What a night. What a night that was.
It was a great night.
A good thing about Dragon Quest Builders though as well is that it's a bit of it's a good starting point for any sort of first experience with Dragon Quest. So I know a lot of people have started on Builders and then gone to like 11, and I mean you can even play the Heroes games. Well, only the first one according to Jordan, but yeah, I mean it's a great place to start, and the building mechanics are really enjoyable.
Yeah, I hadn't actually played any Dragon Quest games.
Neither had I before my review
picked
for
up the first one when it was like a demo on the PS4, and then I was just like, holy shit, this game's amazing. So,
cool.
And yeah, I want to go back and play the actual RPGs.
How's the have you played any of the multiplayer? Because I remember before the review, I don't think you'd done much.
Yeah, I tried it out last night. It's pretty limited. It's good if you have friends who also play it, but not if you don't, really.
Fair.
So,
Fair.
Yeah, it handles the multiplayer differently to the first one as well. Like because there wasn't really any multiplayer in the first one. It's more like you visit people's buildings. They kind of nominated areas within their world that you could view. Whereas in this one, you can invite people into your world and you can transfer to other worlds, but it's really based around like friends and friends of friends. So there's no random matchmaking that I can see anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you and Lockie Robbo, shout out to Lockie Robbo, can meet up in the DQB2 world.
Yeah, for sure. We'll build a little WellPlayed map.
Please do. Me, I'm a bit like Jordan. I got a bit of a start on my pledges this week. I started Metro Exodus.
Now, did you manage to make it past the main menu?
I did actually, just. Because the game actually froze twice.
Yikes.
Early
Quality.
on. Yeah.
I mean, it's set in Russia, right?
The first crash, I was like, all right, whatever.
I did tell you it was janky.
And the second crash, it was like one of those freezes where like the sound like jams as well. So I was like, and I was like, get fucked. Anyway, I went again, and I haven't had a third crash yet. So far so good. I'm not. I didn't know how, because it's obviously changed a bit from the previous 2 games, which I quite enjoyed. Not sure how I feel about the leaving the Metro yet. I've just. Has anyone else apart from Jordan played it?
No, I started playing the first one, a couple of months ago, but then I got bored.
Yeah, I haven't touched it yet either.
Mate.
It's alright, Zach. We can
I'll
talk
get
about
there.
it. We can talk about it. Just you and I.
I got a
Yeah,
million
so
other games.
A sensual
just-
section of the podcast.
I've just you know when the train stops at that first part
Yep.
and you go to the church.
Yep.
So I'm just back from the church. I've just gone to the dude's house that you go to.
Ah,
Or,
okay.
yeah,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
on the crane or whatever it
Yep,
is in
yep.
there. Yeah. So I'm not too far in.
Please tag your spoilers, thanks.
Sorry about that. Spoiler that.
Yeah. Now Ed
yeah,
ruin
knows.
the
Now
franchise.
Ed knows there's a crane in Metro Exodus.
Big spoiler that is. Yeah. So, but no, I'm keen to keep playing. But apart from that, I can now talk about a game I've been playing the last few weeks called Etherborn. Because the review embargo ends in a couple of hours.
Nice.
I'm not sure if anyone else here has seen it.
Oh, I saw that you got the platinum though.
I did get the platinum.
Yeah,
How good's that?
lovely.
It's a very dirty, cheap platinum too.
Oh,
So
my
that's
favourite.
actually that'll tie into why it's kind of disappointing. So a little bit of backstory. This game was funded on a what do I call it? Crowdfunding
Crowdfunding.
platforms
Yes.
called Fig. I think I might have said that twice. Yeah, so Kieran and I backed it on Fig. I've already played the preview version last year, I think, and it had, from memory, the first 3 levels, which may have included the tutorial. So basically, in the final version, and I think I pledged, I think it was like $30 or $35 or something for it, which is fine. But the full version or the final version that I played, it's 5 levels plus the tutorial. So there's only 2 more levels that I've played the preview. Or was it 3? It's either 3 or 2 or 3 extra levels since the preview, which is kind of disappointing. Because what's actually there is the puzzle design is awesome. So what it is, it's a little gravity shifting puzzler. So you go up ramps and you have to change your gravity to, I guess, progress. And there's orbs, and you have to put these little orbs on these trigger points in the world or in the level, and that'll open up other areas of the level. Whether that's a bridge will come down or come up from the bottom or from the sky, or another block of the level will come in, and sometimes you got to use, or quite often you got to use the orbs multiple times. So you'll have to trigger one point and then take it off and then keep and trigger another point. And a couple of the levels towards the end, like the ones that I hadn't played, are quite difficult. But yeah, it is disappointingly short. And the platinum, because there's only 5 levels, I think it's either 10 or 12 trophies. I think there's a trophy for just watching the credits, from memory. But basically, there's a a light new game plus, so you can do all the puzzles again, but the orbs are just in different spots. Which is, I guess, it adds a little bit of replayability there, but it's still the same. And this is what I say in the review: it's still the same 5 levels that you've already played. So it's not really new. It's just that the things are in different parts. So that's a little bit. You go.
I was going to say, did the devs, have they said why they did the first 3 levels in a preview build and then released them in the main game?
I do know that. So having spoken to them, I do know that the apparently it's very, because they're only a little small indie dev from Barcelona, and apparently those levels take months and months to design.
Yeah.
So I guess they just, within the budget that they had, that's all that they could sort of do.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 levels, and it was the tutorial and 2 other levels in the preview build, I think. I've still got it on my computer. I probably should have had a look, but yeah, the one there, but yeah. So what's there? The puzzles are actually very well done, and the art style is beautiful. It's glowing, fluorescent colors, and
it looks
pastel colors. Yeah.
Shape of the World that I reviewed last year.
Yeah,
Yes.
sort of. Yeah.
Good game.
And yeah, so it's beautiful. The soundtrack's pretty good as well, which is good. The narrative's a little bit. I don't want to say it's shit, but it's like I say in the review, it doesn't feel very relevant. So basically, the story behind it is you're this little translucent dude who's walking through these levels, following a. So you're a voiceless body following a bodiless voice, and yeah, you're trying to find basically the origins of your existence, and it sort of just gets a bit confusing, and I don't know, becomes a little bit hard to follow towards the end. It's almost like it's just it's got like dialogue for the sake of having dialogue in certain points. But what I did play, I think I said this on the previous podcast, is I played it in Spanish, which was quite cool. It added a nice little element to it, because the English voiceovers were not quite as good. But yeah, I gave it a 7. I do think it's a good game. I just think it's very short.
How do you
Too
say
short.
7 in Spanish?
Ça va.
It's siete.
Yeah, I don't speak Spanish.
Disgraceful.
You should
do you
now
reckon it
because
would
you
be
played
good
the
for
whole
people
game
who
in
didn't-
Spanish.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, mate, it's only got 6 levels, so I never actually got to hear 7.
Well, you.
Yeah, I got you there. The other thing I was going to mention about it, I've now forgotten because you brought up bloody Spanish.
No hablo inglés.
No, Enrique Iglesias either.
So do you reckon it's worth playing? Like, if you didn't play the preview, like, does it?
Yeah. So I wrote at the end of it, like, my little closing sentence here is that if you like a good challenge, an Aetherborn is worth a look. However, be prepared to be left wanting more when the credits roll. So,
Right.
like, I do think, like, if you like, and like puzzle games like this are probably hard to balance as well. Like, you don't want it to be too long because then it sort of just gets, I guess, repetitive and sort of boring. And the other good thing, like, and this is with the puzzle design, is some puzzle games can just be hard for the sake of being hard. Like, they're not even though they're hard, they're not enjoyable.
Yeah.
Whereas here, they, like, you kind of feel like they're difficult, but you sort of, it makes you want to beat it. Whereas, you don't go, fuck, this is too hard, I'm just going to turn it off and go play fucking Troll and
Elex.
Elex. But yeah, and this is, and just quickly on the length, I played a very similar game. So last year, after I did the preview build and I did a preview with the developers, another developer reached out to me with a very, very, very similar game called Europa, which I actually gave it 8.5 out of 10. That was in development for 10 years. And it's got like over 10 hours of content, and it's got like a level creation tool as well. So, and that's $35 to buy that game on Steam. Aetherborn, from what I can gather, is probably going to be about $25, $30. So when you sort of weigh those two up, one's got 10 hours of content versus like 3. Like, I think you could probably beat Aetherborn in 3 to 4 hours.
So wait, how long are the levels then? Are they basically like half an hour or?
Well, I guess it depends on how hard, how much of a challenge it is for you.
Yeah.
Well,
there was one
for
level
Dylan,
that
it
I
might
played
be
at
like 20 hours a level.
Yeah, well, there's one level that I played when I was really tired, and it was about 2 a.m. and I was getting super frustrated. And this is similar to when I played Wolfenstein: The New Order on like brutal hard, and I could not beat the final boss on super hard. And I died about 100 times one night. I was like, fuck this game sucks. I'm going to bed. Like the next day I first go beat him, and on this I just could not figure out where to where to go. I was like, nah. But then I didn't realize that if it just saves like your progress like straight away. So there's no like, you don't have to beat a level for it to save. So I like left the PlayStation on like all night, which I never do. And then I came back the next day and I beat it within like 5-10 minutes. So I mean, if you're fresh in the mind, you can probably smash out the levels pretty well, yeah, relatively quickly. Quickly, if you're smart. Dylan would fail.
Yeah, get it. No,
Yeah,
Dylan's
mate.
got all those textbooks. He'd be super smart.
Yes, textbooks.
He did
My
get the big
favourite.
D's.
Yeah, mate. a hard D and a soft D.
And Jordan would go alright because he speaks Spanish. So
So that's
There
just
you
me
go.
that's fucked.
yeah, it's just you. But yeah, no, I do recommend it. It's not a hard recommend. It'd be a soft recommend for people who like puzzle games.
Lovely.
Cool. Dylan, you want to have a quick chat about Fire Emblem?
Yes. So got my hands on Fire Emblem early, as I said before. Quite early, considering. I think I got it last Monday or something. So the 8th, and it's out on the 26th. So shout out to Nintendo for giving us something that early.
Huge shout out.
Yeah. I'm loving it, honestly. At the moment, I was talking to Jordan before. It's bordering on Game of the Year territory for me at the moment.
Heresy.
And I can't put it down. I'm 35 hours in. And it's just, I was playing it before this. I had a day off today, so I just played that all day. And when I finish this, I'm going to jump back into it. But yeah, I mean, the whole premise behind it is you're basically just a guy at the start, and you work at a monastery teaching students how to become warriors and stuff like that. So it's a bit Persona-esque in the sense that, you go around this monastery building relationships with your students and stuff like that. So you pick from one of three houses that, three factions that are at this academy, and you build the relationships, almost strictly with your students, but you can interact with other students from other classes that, you may want to pick them, steal them from their class and put them in yours and stuff like that. So that's quite enjoyable, and you can build up your romantic relationships as you'd expect in a Fire Emblem game, except there's no like weird petting simulator sort of thing that the older games had. You do tea parties instead, so it's a bit more tame. But yeah, I mean, in terms of actual gameplay, it's just this same old kind of setup, tile based tactical strategy RPG sort of thing. And I mean, I'm not going to go too much further into it, but I'm, as I said, 35 hours in, and there's supposedly a time skip that signifies the second part of the game. So I've probably still got another 40 hours to go, but I'm not going to talk much more about it. I'll save the rest for the review.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's on 3DS. I think you might have said that.
3DS?
Yeah.
No, God, no, sir.
Isn't it?
It's on the 2DS.
No, mate.
Really?
It's Nintendo Switch, mate. Come on.
I thought you were saying... Oh, okay.
The older titles.
No,
are on
the
3DS.
older titles are on the 3DS.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay. All right.
It's the first home console Fire Emblem since the one on the Wii. I think it was either Path of Radiance or can't remember, Radiant Dawn or something like that. I can't remember, but loving it.
Nice.
Gotti at the moment.
Cool. All right. Well, the embargo won't
26th.
Be up. Won't be up by next ep.
Review will be up there. Yeah, the week after next.
Cool.
Sweet.
Have anyone else played Fire Emblem game?
I played a bit of, not the last one that came out in the 3DS, the one before that. I played a bit of that, and I got into it, and I just never got back to it.
Was that Awakening or?
I don't know. It had Fire Emblem in the name.
Fair. Okay. Well, I mean, there are a few on the 3DS.
Yeah, I know. I think it was it Awakening or whatever that had the two versions, kind of like Pokemon?
No, that was Fire Emblem Fates.
Okay, so then it might have been Awakening.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few, but I will say as well that this game, despite being it is very daunting in the Japanese sense, where there's a lot of like micromanagement, a lot of numbers popping and stuff like that. But it's a good starting point for people to get into Fire Emblem. So if you haven't, delved into Fire Emblem before, I do recommend giving it a go when it comes out.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our main topic, which
Yeah, boy.
is dead IPs that need to come back.
Bring it back.
Not the Black Eyed Peas.
Bring the Black Eyed
No,
Peas
God,
back.
no.
They're awesome.
No, they were no good, mate.
I could go for some mushy peas right now.
Delete yourself. So the criteria for this is that the IP in question that we're going to be bringing up cannot have had a new entry this console generation, like PS4, Xbox time frame. So if it's like a remaster, that's fine because that's just a bloody cash grab. But yeah, if it's had a new entry in the series, then that disqualifies it. So who wants to go first? We'll go 3 each.
Yeah, I won't.
I reckon
Jordan's going first.
Ed can go first.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, I can go first. I don't mind.
All right.
So-
Shoot, give us one.
My first game that I picked, franchise, is the Gex franchise.
Yes.
Ooh.
I loved Gex. Gex was awesome, and if you don't know Gex, I highly recommend you go and check it out. It's a 3D platformer, I think Mario, but more grown up, and there was a lot of references to like film and television and pop culture in the games, and they kind of had that risque sort of tongue-in-cheek humor. So it was my bag. Even when I was a little kid when it came out. I think the last one that came out was in 1999. So I would have been 11, and yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was great. Can't get enough of it, and I can't believe they haven't rebooted it, given like how important TV is these days. You know, like Game of Thrones and all the other sci-fi stuff. Like there'd be so much cool stuff that you could do with it.
I know that I played Enter the Gecko on PS1.
Yeah, nice. Great
Yeah, it was good.
game. Yeah, the last one that came out was in 1999. And that was Gex 3.
It's better than Spyro.
Way better than Spyro.
Sorry, Karen.
Shut
Wow.
your damn mouth.
Okay, I am gonna leave, and I'm never editing the podcast again.
I've actually never played a Spyro game, so
Wow.
can't.
Oh, no.
Has played Gex though.
Has played Gex. Gex
Don't
1,
you?
2, and 3.
If you played Gex, you don't have to play Spyro.
I agree.
Look, if Gex was so good, it would have gotten remastered on PS4, not Spyro.
Or maybe it's not owned by like money grabbing douchebags.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, who does own it? I wonder. Crystal Dynamics. There's a whole lot of publishers with their finger in this pie. Midway Games.
Wow.
Big Ubi. Ubi had their little French dip in it at one stage. Jordan, you want to go next?
Yeah, the first one I'm gonna go for is a 1998 game called Cooler World.
Oh,
Ooh.
that was on my list.
Was it?
Well, it was on my extended list.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is a game that honestly I hadn't thought about until today when I was like, oh shit, I have to come up with 3 games for this podcast
How do you think of Cooler World?
because it's such a good game.
Because you're a cooler guy.
Okay, just no.
Explain it. Explain the game.
So the Cooler World is like basically a puzzle platform where you play as like a beach ball, more or less. And it really uses the 3D geometry in space really well. So like you change your gravity, you change your angle that you're on and everything. And it was really cool. And there are traps everywhere. And I think if they made a new one today, it'd be really interesting because the artist could have a field day with the skyboxes because the game is pretty much entirely skyboxes and then, some map. So it'd be really cool to see how it worked today, but I highly doubt it would be coming back.
When's
Do
the
you know
last
what's
time that you
super
played
weird?
it?
Last time that I played it would have been a couple of years ago.
Do you know what's super,
super
weird?
weird?
My wife and I were talking last night about
No
getting
way.
demo discs from like PlayStation Magazine and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about that game, Cool World, on the demo disc, but I kept calling it Klonoa, and I was like, "What's Klonoa?"
I love
And then I
Klonoa.
googled it, and Klonoa was the cat guy with the big long
Yeah,
ears and the hat.
yeah,
and that had a
it-
demo in there as
I
well.
have no idea what
It
that is.
had the really nice music as well.
Yeah, it was great.
Boys.
How good. Can you, Dylan, can you Google how long to beat Cooler World for us?
Yeah, mate, I'm on it.
It wouldn't be very long.
How good to beat. Check how good to beat as well.
Yeah. All right. So
I'll scope it up.
I'll go third while you while you search up how good long to beat or whatever it is.
Right.
My first one, Road Rash,
Yeah, boy.
which is There's been a couple spiritual successes.
Your favorite
one,
being Road Rage.
my favorite with that, juicy 3 out of 10 I gave it. That game was awful. There's also Road Redemption, which is very cool. Excuse me. Hang on.
All right. In the meantime, while he's dying, Cooler World, 3 hours to beat the main story, 5 hours for main plus extras. You're welcome, everyone.
How long to
Thank you.
platinum?
No worries.
Road Rash's last release was actually in 2003, a bit later than what I thought. But yeah, so for those who don't know, Road Rash is the motorcycle racing game where you get to beat people up with chains and kick them off the bikes.
Loosely based off of Zach's life.
Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah, I'd love to see like a new modern version of it. Maybe sort of even like the Need for Speed reboots.
Okay,
Do you know what would
yeah.
be cool? A battle royale road rash. So you got 100 riders and you got to kick each other off.
That would be awesome. Dylan, yours.
All right.
You're up.
So, this one's quite funny now, and Edward kind of rubbed the sheen off of it. Mine was Klonoa.
Oh, damn it, sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was funny because I was sitting here trying not to like burst as you were talking about Klonoa. But yeah, throwbacks to the first piece I ever did on WellPlayed, 5 platforming series that deserve a comeback. Klonoa was on there. The first game, I think, Klonoa, Dawn of Phantom Isle, released 97, so the year I was born.
How
ironically.
good was Klonoa?
So good. And they remade the first game on the Wii, which I played and completed last year because I missed Klonoa. And they had a couple games before that. I think the last original release was 2002. I think that the second game or something came out at that point. But it is a series I do want to come back. For those who aren't aware, it's like the first game was pixel art sort of thing. The second game was a bit of 3D because it was on PS2. But basically 2.5D platformers. They were really enjoyable. And Klonoa 3, make it a reality, Namco, even though you've dead and buried it. They were actually meant to make a movie for Klonoa, sorry. But they cancelled it this year, so rough.
Well,
So he's
it'd end
probably
up like Sonic
dead.
If they tried to do a movie.
Oh man, Klonoa's so good. But that was one of my first ones. Bring back Klonoa, please, because I miss him so much.
I just googled it and I have never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, he was a Namco mascot at one point because he's got a Pac-Man little image on his hat. He's like the little. They wanted him to be Namco's main mascot, but the game obviously didn't do as well as they were intending it to. But it's really definitely like a hidden gem that a lot of people overlook for some reason.
Cool.
Yep.
Eddie Boy, number 2.
Number 2 for me is, and I don't know, this one is heartbreaking because it's had a lot of remakes and remasters because it is just a cash cow. But it's Okami.
Yeah.
I would literally kill someone for an Okami proper sequel. Like there was Okami Den, which was the one on the DS.
Yeah.
Which came out in 2010. But like a fully fledged proper sequel would just kill me, I reckon.
I think Okami has to have one of my favorite art styles ever.
Yeah. And they've got the World of Demons mobile game coming out that has a similar art style, but it's a completely different kind of game. But yeah, I don't know. If you haven't played Okami, go play it. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. It's just amazing.
Just to make a weekly reference to my game shelf, Okami's on my shelf, and you wouldn't believe it, but it's sealed.
You can probably sell that for like tons of money.
Yeah, I mean it's the PS4 version, to be fair.
Something that was really cute. I think it was when it got remastered on the PS3, and KV, big old shout outs to KV.
Yeah, boy.
He bought me a PlayStation card with $30 on it, and then hand drew a cover and put it in a game case with the hand drawn cover and gave it to me for my birthday.
Oh,
So
that
that I
is
can buy
so
it.
sweet.
It was really sweet.
Nice. Jordan.
Okay,
two.
it's going to be an obvious one. Dead Space.
Nice.
You're right.
Yeah, but not Dead Space 3 because that one's garbage. But like, the first two Dead Spaces are really good. And then EA did what EA does best, and they made it shit. And then they closed down Rip Visceral. So it was a bit sad.
R.I.P.
But
Epic whip.
I love going back to Dead Space 1 and 2. Dead Space 1 has like some of the best claustrophobic vibes around. So yeah, it'd be awesome to see a revival of that series.
Which one did you like better? One or two?
That's a tough one. I'd probably say 1 because 1 focuses on the horror a bit more than the action, but 2 has some really cool designs.
Yeah, I think I only got about halfway through number 2. I finished number 1, but I think I only got about halfway through number 2.
Yeah, there's a soul on Earth actually like Dead Space 3 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, actually.
Oh, then again, they don't have souls, so.
Ooh,
Yeah. Harsh.
I can't speak badly of them. I might have to work for them one day. Who knows?
Dylan,
Yes.
your number 2.
Isn't it your number 2, mate?
It is my number 2. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
go for it. Number 2s, mate. Prioritise them.
Sorry about
They're
that.
important.
Number 2, I'm going to go with an obvious one. I'll go with Time Splitters.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never heard you mention that before. Never.
Oh, really?
No.
Doesn't rate Time
in
Splitters.
all the years that I've known you, never mentioned Time
First time
Splitters.
for everything, then.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess Time Splitters is hopefully going to be making a comeback soon, but there's no confirmation yet. But for those who don't know, Time Splitters was a first-person shooter series that had some pretty cool campaigns and some even better multiplayer. I know that a bunch of people at WellPlayed are big fans. I don't know if there's anyone else here played it.
Yeah.
And did you like it?
I loved it. Thought it was great. I even love number 2 as well.
Yeah, 2's the best, mate.
Yeah.
Good boy. Not number 3 like Kieran tries to brainwash you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was by Free Radical, who funnily did Haze, and then after Haze they became Crytek UK and developed what would end up being Homefront: The Revolution. So shout outs to Homefront.
Did they
So
do
it's consistent.
Did they do Second Sight as well?
They did.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that game was wicked.
Yeah, so they, when they were under Crytek, Crytek bought the rights for Time Splitters and that, and then when Crytek UK, or when Crytek ran into troubles, they sold Crytek UK to Deep Silver, who then turned it into Damn Busters, and they sold the Homefront franchise, but they kept Time Splitters, and recently THQ Nordic and Koch Media have acquired Time Splitters IP and Second Sight from Crytek, so hopefully that means we'll get a new game soon. I really think that perhaps we would get like a HD trilogy announcement at E3, but not to be. Maybe Gamescom.
Maybe it's only remaster number 3.
Dylan, yours.
Yes. All right. Mine's a bit of a meme in the sense that it's never going to happen, but Half-Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit rough. Really like all the Half-Life games. I mean, 1 and 2
All
mainly,
two.
obviously. I mean, there's spin-offs in that. Come on, mate.
Yeah, there's
Nah, mate.
Yeah, there's Blue
My
Shift.
favourite one was the military
So you
one.
want a new spin-off? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, give me episode 3, which won't happen, of course. Give me Half-Life 3, which also won't happen. But it is a franchise I would like to see come back, because those, just the way the Source engine felt and feels even now, even though it's dated as hell. I just want to play another 15-hour game in that environment.
Source powers Titanfall and Apex Legends.
Oh, Source is so lovely. It's so good.
Have you played Titanfall 2 yet, Dylan?
No, did you hear me on the podcast say the other day that
I
it's
did,
still sitting
yeah.
there?
And then
Yeah.
it was in your backlog, but you got to play it, mate. It's so good.
Oh, man. I should have made that one of my
I think you
my
tried
pledges.
to.
I was going to. I
but you weren't
considered
allowed
it.
to, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
Yeah,
like 4 hours long, mate.
yeah. You made me play the entire fucking
It's shorter than
Uncharted franchise instead. Oh,
How good.
no, that's fair.
Would you, if Valve come out and said, look, we want to do Half-Life 3,
Yep.
but instead of Morgan Freeman or whoever that main guy is,
Gordon Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
it's going to be Big Gabe. He's going to be taking over
Yeah.
lead role. Would you still get around it?
So long as like when we're playing in first person shooter, I can like see his gut. You know what I mean?
And
Then,
you
yeah, I'm
shoot
all around
discounted
it.
Steam games at people.
Yeah, you shoot like the green like little like banners for like the sales like markings. Yeah, like 20% off, bang. 50% off, bang.
And the big bad guy is epic.
Yes, I'll allow it. And they're holding all like these all like the studios they've killed in cages. Like
And the
Visceral's
head
hanging
crabs
out.
is just G2A accounts.
Yes. Love stolen game keys. But yeah,
It's
Half-Life.
like a game for people fly on the weekends or whatever they
People fly fortnightly. Yeah.
I always think, what's it called?
People fly.
People
maybe.
fly occasionally.
Oh, okay,
Is
it's
it?
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People fly occasionally. They're actually
Nice.
called People Can Fly, but yeah, I think.
Edward, third one.
Oh, it's me again. I had a third one written down, but then I thought of another one when you were talking, and so I've changed it. And are we going to do honorable mentions? Because there's so many that I want to
We
talk
are.
about.
Yeah.
The one that I changed it to was The Suffering. Did any of you guys ever play The Suffering?
I have. I played The Suffering. Yes.
I love The Suffering. And now that we're not getting any Silent Hills games, like, it's perfect time for this to come back. So The Suffering is a survival horror game that's set in a prison. And all of the monsters are essentially forms of, like, the ways that they execute people in prison. So there's like a hanging monster, there's a shooting monster, there's a lethal injection monster, etc. And you play as a guy who's been accused of murder, or he did murder someone, and he's on death row, and then something happens, and the prison gets taken over by an evil force, and you have to escape and live. And it feels very much like a Silent Hill kind of inspired game. So I'm all about it. Bring it back.
You know what's interesting about this game is I just had a bit of a Google of it, but one of the designers that comes up, Richard Rouse 3, we actually interviewed him recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for when Azza put up the interview / preview. Actually, no, it was just the interview for the Church in the Darkness.
Oh, yeah, nice.
That was actually him. So he's actually designing that game now.
Cool. Yeah,
And he worked on
they did a sequel as well, but I think I only played maybe like an hour of that, and then had to return it to Video Easy.
Must be on how good was Video Easy.
Shout out to Video Easy.
Pour a
Shouts
40 out. Pour a 40 out on the side of the road for Video Easy.
Jordan, number
All right. My third one is Wipeout.
Oh,
3.
Az's favourite.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah,
It
I'll
does
allow it.
count because it hasn't had a new release. It just had the 3 games
know,
from
yeah.
last generation remastered. And it was a bit sad because Studio Liverpool got closed down, and they were awesome, and all the really cool like English developers that Sony had are gone. But I love Wipeout, man. It's just so fun.
It's awesome.
It is so good, and that remaster is so good. But
Who reviewed it? I
you did,
didn't know.
you did. Yeah,
What'd I get?
I think
Like
you get
9,
like
didn't I?
I think it was like 8 or 9. Yeah.
Pretty sure I gave it 9 because Wipeout's the tits.
It is the tits. Better than F-Zero, but
What's your favourite Wipeout?
oh, it's either a toss between 2048, the Vita one, or I forgot what the first one was called. Fuck, I forgot what the first
Isn't
one
it
was
just called Wipeout?
Yeah, it's still called Wipeout, mate. Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Well, there's so many Wipeouts with different names.
It's
Yeah,
called,
just-
it's called Just Called Wipeout.
yeah, it might have the OG Wipeout of 2048, just because the tracks in 2048, like the actual
Yeah, it's awesome.
races you do, they're really well designed. Those ones in the sky where there's no barrier on the sides, so brutal.
Did you always do the cheat to get the piranha ship?
Nope.
Oh, fuck you.
He's not a loser.
Yeah, you should be a loser.
Truth be told, I didn't learn that there was a cheat for the piranha ships until much later, until I'd already unlocked them. So, yeah.
Disgusting. I remember, like when I first got that was one of the first games I got with my PlayStation. It was that, Abe's Odyssey. I can't remember, but yeah, that's like one of the very first games, and I flogged it massively. I could get through every track without touching the sides.
That's pretty impressive. I can get through every track with touching every side.
Nice.
Is that your pickup line? Is that how you got your lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Believe it or not, it doesn't work.
You want to wipe out? I don't even touch the sides.
and then she's just asking for you to put a ring on it at that point.
Basically.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see how another studio would take it.
All right. Question without notice. If they were like, all right, when you wipe out, who would you want to develop it? It can't be a studio that's defunct.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yes,
Ooh. I think, honestly, Guerrilla Games might be the best for it because a lot of the people that worked on 2048 with Studio Cambridge, I think was it Cambridge? No, Studio Liverpool. A lot of them went on to Guerrilla Cambridge, so you'd have quite a bunch of the talent that made the later ones in that team. Another studio would be Bluepoint. Is it Bluepoint?
Yeah.
The guys that did the
Don't they do all the
Shadow of
remasters?
Colossus?
Yeah.
But they can they can actually do something original.
Fair enough. All right.
I'll allow
No, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So number 3, and this is probably number 1 on my list, but I thought I'd keep it for the end. Should be fairly predictable. It's Dino Crisis.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
boy.
Parasite Eve.
That's some of my don't argues. No, not don't argues. What did I say don't argues for? My honourable mentions.
Wow, we're doing don't argues.
Righto, danger.
Yeah.
Dusty.
Yeah, so Dino Crisis would be definitely a game I'd love to see back. And I was really hoping, as per our discussion about E3, that it would come back this year, based on some of the rumours. But nothing as of yet. But I'm sure that Capcom have got plans to bring it back at
You
some
watch.
point.
They're going to remake the Resident Evil 2 remake.
I'd still
I
play
hope
it.
so. It's probably... It'd be my top 5 games of all time, the first Dino Crisis. It's pretty much old school Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs instead of with zombies, and it's done by Shinji Mikami and by Capcom. That game first came out in '99, which is actually earlier. But it's newer than what I thought. For some reason, I thought it was a little bit older than that. And then they had the glorious Dino Crisis 3 in space for the Xbox.
So good.
Which sucked. And basically killed the franchise.
Best
We've
one.
had nothing since then. Turn it up.
You know, Shinji Mikami, I was reading today because I was looking at old games to try and get a list together. And Shinji Mikami developed Goof Troop on the SNES.
Mad Dog.
Which was the Goofy game, basically, where he plays Goofy and his son Max. And you go around solving puzzles and shit. It was awesome. I loved it. And I had no idea that Shinji Mikami did it.
I've never played it. I've never even
That was his inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went on to Resident Evil after that, so I guess he just hated Disney.
Has anyone else here played Dino Crisis?
Yeah.
Nah.
What? Was that like someone saying yes and someone saying no at the same
Yeah,
time?
Dylan said no, I said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I was like, yeah. What do you think, Ed?
Loved it. Can't get enough of it. And Parasite Eve as well was great. I think that was different team.
Big shout out to KV because my copy of Dino Crisis on the PS1 stopped working and he sent me his version of it.
Oh,
So
nice.
shout out.
Did
Huge
he
shout out.
hand draw a cover for you too?
No, but he did leave a... Never mind. I'm not going to say that. It's too raunchy for the podcast. Dylan, number 4.
Yo. Number 3
sorry.
for me, champ.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry.
You're right, mate.
You do talk a lot.
Yeah, fair. I do not. Earthbound.
What?
Earthbound.
Fuck is
It's
that?
also a bit of a meme because it probably will never happen either. But
Have you never heard of Earthbound, Zach?
yeah, come on, dude.
I type in Earthbound and Mother comes up.
Yeah,
That's
what
exactly it.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard this before. Oh yes, I
Yeah,
know,
you
I know
have.
the artwork.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never played it though.
Yeah. They're basically just RPGs, JRPGs. Bit quirky in that, but not really much more to say again because it's not very likely. But I would like to see, one of them on the Switch. I don't know what they do with the art style, whether or not they'd keep it, pixelated again, or do what they were going to do with the N64 idea and make a 3D mother game. But yeah, it's one that I wish to see, but don't think I'm going to see. So yeah,
I've never played an Earthbound game. Is it kind of like Undertale?
yes,
Yeah, cool.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you like Undertale, then you may like Earthbound.
Cool, nice.
Yes.
All right, let's go into some honourable mentions. We won't go in too much detail about these ones, but Ed, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, do you want me to just do the list of what I've got left?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right. So, Suikoden, which is a JRPG. Last game came out in 2006. They did a whole bunch of spin-offs on like the Vita and stuff. It's very similar to Final Fantasy in the way that it plays, like the early Final Fantasies. But at least the one that I played, which I think was the first one, you can walk around and recruit people to join your castle, and then they help you out in the final battle, which is pretty dope. The next game was Prince of Persia. I love the Sands of Time, and I think it's the Two Thrones, and then I can't remember what the third one was called.
No. It's Sands of Time, Warriors Within, Two Thrones.
That's the one, yeah. And then, but they also did the kind of reboot in 2008, which was also awesome, where you got the claw and that cool scarf. So I reckon if they brought that back in any kind of way, which I don't think they will, because a lot of the elements from Prince of Persia are used in Assassin's Creed these days. But it'd be really cool if they did.
I'm pretty sure they made a sequel after Two Thrones that was just garbage.
Yeah, it was called. I think it was called Forgotten Sands, and it was like
Forgotten Game. That's what it
It
is.
was like a pre-sequel or something. I don't know. And then the other one that I had was Advanced Wars. Big shout out to Azza, because I know he's a fan of Advanced Wars. It's a great kind of turn-based strategy game that was on the Game Boy Advance and the DS. They haven't had a release in a while, so that'd be really cool to see something like that on the Switch.
I'm pretty sure we established it's going to be Advanced Wars Warriors.
Oh no.
I was going to mention that I played Fire Emblem Warriors earlier, and I was like, nah, better not. And then my last one is Diddy Kong Racing, because that game was insane, and I love it. And it's got to come back.
Bring it back.
Way better than Mario Kart, hands down.
Yes.
Definitely better than the Mario Kart 64 back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it for me.
Cool. Nice. Jordan?
So the other one,
Jordan?
I can only think of a couple. Castlevania for one,
Nice.
and Metroid. Not Metroid Prime, Metroid. Because Metroid and Metroid Prime are two very different things.
Are we not? Oh yeah, you wouldn't count Samus Returns because remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it'd be cool to see those come back. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why Konami is leaving Castlevania dead, because I'd rather make pachinko machines. But I don't know why Nintendo just ignores Metroid so hard. It's kind of
play a
sad.
Castlevania pachinko machine?
No.
Yeah. No way.
I was so close to playing the Metal Gear Solid pachinko game just to watch the
Cutscenes.
cutscenes.
Yeah. They are
It's
nice.
so good. Oh, also, I meant to call out. Sorry to interrupt you, which I'm going to dog on you all. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a fucking great game. All right. So,
Yes.
We'll not
Yes.
hear it.
I was quite upset when they went ham on it.
Yeah.
Look, I haven't finished it, so I can't go...
Look,
I'm
I'm
more or
not
less happy
saying...
you've even played it.
I'm
Can't
not
say I hate it too much, but number 4 it was just...
Number 4 was
I-
great as well.
No,
Look,
get
I'm
rid of it.
not
Get rid of
saying 5 is a bad game. I'm saying the open world is terrible and
it.
useless.
5 is not a good game.
No, because the actual gameplay and the mission structure is fine.
But you said you give it like a 5. Like,
Yeah,
if you
because
get,
the
like,
open
review-
world is that bad.
Yeah, you can't go back on that. You said that like a week ago.
Alright, I'll give it a 3.
That's his next gaming review regret. Is just that he regrets regretting the one before.
Yeah, I should have regretted it even more.
Alright, so my little honorable mentions is that I got NHL Rock the Rink, which was I guess a little standalone 3v3 ice hockey game where it's sort of played in like, for lack of a better term, like barn rinks or like real like country style rinks and stuff in some cases. And there's like, so you play as like teams called like, I don't know, the Grenades and the Dog Blankets or something. And
Sounds fun.
and it's just about smashing dudes as hard as you can, scoring heaps of goals, and it's heaps of fun. It's it's just very very different to the normal games, and I was hoping that maybe they'd throw it in as a bonus mode at some point.
Can I
throughout the
just
years,
say,
but
I used to love looking at all the NHL games on like the older consoles in the game store because
Yeah.
you'd look at them and you turn the cover around and it didn't show any hockey, it just showed people punching each other.
yeah.
That's the real highlights.
Yeah, Rock the Rink came out on PS1 in 2000. So there's that. Yeah, that would be cool. Also a game called MDK.
Yes, I
Ever
love
played
MDK.
that? Yeah, MDK was awesome. Number 1 and 2, very, very cool. I think that was the third one, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, I'd love to see that one come back. That was actually owned by Interplay. And they are trying to sell it in. I think it's Interplay. They're trying to sell it when they were selling off their IPs recently or something.
You should
like
buy
that.
it.
Nice.
I should buy it.
Yeah, and then it could become the first game published by WellPlayed.
Just randomly on that, I actually looked at a website for trademark and stuff like that, and Road Rash I think is actually coming up to being outdated. I think it was Road Rash. Or it is outdated, like that. Like no one actually owns the trademark for it, or something like that.
Yeah, fair.
So why are you saying that on the radio, not just going to buy it
Buying it now, yeah.
On the radio.
on the wireless?
Yeah.
Other game is Dark Watch. I don't know if anyone's ever played Dark Watch.
No.
It's a game by Capcom. It's like it's a first person shooter where you play like
You love Capcom.
I do, man. I was a Capcom fanboy back in the day, and the actual the Wikipedia says here the game mixes Western horror and steampunk genres.
Your favourite?
Oh fuck oath! And it's got the character's name is Jericho Cross, which what a name! Just like super boss. He's
Edgy
basically
white man.
He's like a cowboy turned vampire, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty well received, I think, as well. I actually even bought the art book for it. And I got Parasite Eve, Vanquish.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Which there's been rumors across the years that would come back as a Xbox exclusive through Sega or however. Also another Shinji Mikami game. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I do now.
Boy.
Because he was I don't know if he directed it. Let me double check that actually.
I just want him to return to Goof Troop.
He did.
to be
Oh,
honest.
sorry. He was he's one of the lead designers. And the last on my list was Rapid Racer.
Oh yes. What about Porsche Challenge?
Yeah, I did think about that, but I don't want to spoil the original.
I intentionally left it out just for you.
Also, I think a game based on just racing Porsches kind of shit nowadays.
It's Porsche.
And it's just like the same Porsche, just different colours, mate. But no, bring back Porsche Challenge.
Yes.
But Rapid Racer would be sick.
Yeah, has anyone else played that?
I think maybe when I was younger.
So it's basically, imagine Wipeout, but speedboats.
Ah, yeah.
And water.
And without blowing each other up.
And without blowing each other up.
So more
So
like F-Zero, but
It's
with
basically
boats.
just a speedboat racer. The other game I thought of just quickly was a game called Tomba. Does anyone else remember Tomba?
Yes.
Yes.
Also known as Tombi as well. In different
Yeah,
territories.
I typed in Tombi into the Google.
Yep.
It sounded very old man into the Google. and Tomba came up. I was like, I don't remember it being called Tomba. I thought it was Tombi. Yeah, so that's pretty much all on my list. Dylan.
Yeah. All right. Well, I only had one more because Edward stole Advance Wars.
Yikes.
But I do have a couple more that I just searched up that I do think are quite good ideas. First up, I have the Chrono series.
Nice.
So Chrono Trigger on the SNES, Chrono Cross on the PS1. Also JRPGs that were excellent. I mean, Chrono Cross is kind of underrated. I kind of just want one of them games for the soundtrack again, because I tend to listen to the soundtracks for those games all the time. They're good for studying.
Nerd.
Next, textbook life, Next up, Jet Set Radio.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
That'd be nice. I don't know if they brought it to the PS4 or anything, but I do remember it came to the PS3 and the Vita and that. Also, Ideal, wouldn't mind another one of them. Continuing on with wanting Valve to make a game with a 3 in it. Portal 3 would be wicked. Also, Team Fortress 3, but that's probably not going to happen either.
You're asking a lot of Valve to actually develop a game in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, Team Fortress 2 still functions enough on its own, but I'd like them to, try and compete with Overwatch a bit more. But that's not going to happen.
I'm pretty sure all the main designers for not Gearbox, Valve are gone because they're just we're not doing anything.
No, they're too busy making Artifact, dude. Everyone's favorite card game. Lastly, I think I'm going to finish with Skate. Give me Skate 4, please.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Especially-
Another Tony Hawk's. Give us a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh, Tony
we
Hawk Pro
we
Skater
got one
5
this
best
gen,
game.
so it doesn't count. We got
Yeah,
Tony
exactly.
Hawk,
True.
and it was trash.
Yeah, I need a new Skate. PS3 and Xbox 360 gen online games, were a thing, obviously, but you could have it like a live world Skate game. That'd be mint. But that won't happen either. All the games I want are gonna happen.
Skate 3 wasn't very popular until people like PewDiePie started playing it.
Skate 3, man, that was fun as hell. Oh, dude, those games are so good. But yeah, no, I think what happened was they had a resurgence when PewDiePie and that started playing it again, and then they brought the online service back for a week or whatever, or a couple of weeks. Maybe it's still up, I'm not sure. But they brought the online service back, and everyone was like, "Oh, Skate 4 might be coming." They're trying to bring it up, and then they just never mentioned it again. So who knows where Skate 4's at? Probably nowhere. But yeah, I think that's probably enough. I'll also say Jack and Daxter, because why not? That's it for me.
You sure?
I got one more quick one.
Go for
I
it.
wanted more.
Legacy of Kain.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yes, that was a. Is that's Soul River, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the sequel. There was Legacy of Kain and then the Soul River.
Actually, that reminds me of an article I did ages ago. Similar type game, but remember Shadow Man?
Oh, yes.
Vaguely.
It was made by Acclaim, or they published it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't think it was very good from memory. Actually, I
It
can't remember.
wasn't.
You
It really
sure?
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I'm
I
gonna
remember
Google it.
because
I
I
don't
went
believe
to a retro game store and I saw it on the shelf on the N64 and PlayStation, and the
IGN,
box art was
8.5,
disgusting. Disgusting.
8.5 from IGN.
Nah, no
Only
good,
a
mate.
5 from Big Dirty GameSpot though. Didn't rate
There you
it.
go. Yeah,
Not a fan.
scum. Nah.
But the true honorable mention goes to Raven's Cry.
What a game.
Dude, is Shadow Man on Steam? What?
Yeah, I was on Steam.
Yeah,
How much?
$7.50.
No, too much.
But yeah,
Not
how
worth
good is
going back
Raven's
to Shadow
Cry?
Man.
Oh, mate, so good.
Oh, bring it back.
All right, does anyone else have any last ones they want to throw in while we?
I mean, there is
Before the
Halo,
polls
because we
close,
haven't had
Trevor?
a proper Halo game since Halo Reach.
Shots
Can't.
fired.
Can't, mate.
You can't say that.
Yeah, again, I just did.
All right, here's a question without notice for you, because I was going to throw this out here. Game from this generation. You only get one.
Okay. That you want another one of?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mine's The Order.
Nice.
Yeah, right. Of course it is.
Would love The Order, 1887. It was actually tough. I was like, oh, do I want Quantum Break 2? Do I want Rise 2? Do I want Homefront 3?
You
Well,
know
yeah,
what?
thanks for telling us now while you had time to think about it.
You know what, Zach? I'll let you guess my one.
Sekiro 2.
No.
Trial and I 2.
Close.
Extinction 2.
No.
LX2.
No,
Yes.
that's for Zach.
Sticks 3. Sticks 3.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Tell me.
A sequel to Nier Automata.
Yes, Auto Tomato.
Jordan? Jordan.
Oh, okay, I'll have another one then. No.
Ed or Dylan? And yeah,
Go
'cause,
for it,
like,
Ed.
the whole point was just so you could think like off the top of your head.
Dragon Quest Builders 3.
Oh,
You can't do that.
no, I'll pay it. I'm
Dragon
allowing
Quest
it.
Builders 2 too.
Yeah, 2.2. I don't know. I haven't had a time to think about it from this
It was
generation.
meant to be like impulse, like
Off
I
my
got-
head, real quick, a complete Metal Gear Solid 6.
Yeah.
nice.
You got that in Metal Gear Survive.
5 out of 10. Let's not talk about it again.
It's not this generation, but it's PS3, and it came out pretty late PS3. But I would love a new Resistance game, like Resistance Fallen Man.
Oh, actually, a new Spec Ops: The Line game would be sick.
Yes.
Oh, why did nobody say Siphon Filter? Fuck.
Because we got Days Gone, mate.
Shut up about Days Gone. I won't even touch that.
Actually, I'm going to change mine from the order to Days Gone. Days Gone too.
No, you can't.
No, I'm not going to change that. No way, mate. The order is like made for me. I would buy that game again. If I
I
could.
still haven't played it.
Oh.
I'm gonna play it.
Bloodborne
mate,
sequel, probably not a bad idea either.
Look,
I
Zach's
thought-
got
We'll
the
get around that.
platinum for it.
For Bloodborne, yeah.
Oh yeah, for Bloodborne, yeah.
Mate, I couldn't even get past the first part.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
I've got the platinum for Bloodborne.
I only got to the end of Bloodborne because Jordan was helping me.
Yeah, I was actually, yeah.
Alrighty, let's talk about some news. There's some juicy news this week. What have we got to kick us off? So, how many of you... Actually, okay, we'll go with a different one first. Nintendo Switch Lite. Who's keen? Who's not keen?
Nah, I don't really care about it, to be honest.
I think it's a good, like, it's awesome that it exists. It's just, it's not for me because I already have my Switch.
So if you've been living under a rock, Nintendo announced a Switch Lite, which is just a colourful revision of the Nintendo Switch with a little bit... the hardware itself is not quite as powerful. It was... Do you remember what they took out, Jordan? The Rumble, I think.
They took out the Rumble and the Joy-Cons don't actually detach anymore, so it's purely handheld.
Okay.
It doesn't dock, so it's purely a handheld console. So that means games like 1-2 Switch and all the ones that use that annoying motion control stuff is like their main gimmick. They won't really
I assume
work on the
Labo
Switch.
might not work as
Yeah,
well. The VR headset
Labo
headset
won't
might
work at
not
all.
fit on. Yeah.
But it's good though, because pretty much all the games that won't work with it are all shit anyway. So
And they're going to be flogging it for $330, and it isn't a Switch like 380 or something? Or
yeah. I would
Yes.
not be surprised to see that price drop very quickly.
Yeah, well, there's already been now, like Harvey's and Amazon are already doing
Yeah.
pretty cheap deals or cheaper deals for it. No one's going to get a teal, WellPlayed brand.
Honestly, I'm very
Switch?
tempted because it looks really nice. It's the nicest of the lot.
Yeah, the grey's a bit fucking ugly, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they used the grey for Pokemon Sword and Shield Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch Lite. And
That one
it-
does look kind of nice though.
Really? I don't think it looks crap.
Yeah, the grey.
No, the coloured one, the special edition.
Oh,
Oh.
it is grey, just with a Pokemon design on it in a slightly darker grey.
Yeah, but it's got a pink joystick and a blue one. Come on, dude. Prioritize.
And all they need to
Yeah,
do is make it red and then just have a Pokeball on the back and you're good. But nah. Anyway, yeah.
It prints money.
I'm just gonna wait for the Switch Lite Eye, and then the 3D Switch, and then the 2D Switch.
The Switch Lite IXL.
Yeah.
All right, in other news, Ubi... Has anyone actually heard about this?
I
About the-
heard a little bit about it and it sounds
So,
very much on track for Ubisoft because they've tried something like this
Actually-
before.
I want to have a quick discussion about this, just to see where we all sit with something like this. But basically, if you haven't heard the news, Watch Dogs Legion has teamed up with HitRecord, which is, I think, is it Elijah?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph
Sorry,
Gordon-Levitt. Yeah,
that guy. Sorry,
that guy.
his company. Oh, well, I was thinking of the guy that Ubisoft worked with, and I know that they worked with. Didn't they work with Old Mate in a horror game? Anyway, so for Watch Dogs, they've teamed up with HitRecord, which is like a community based content creation sort of program. So basically, in this, Watch Dogs want the community to supply music for the game's soundtrack. And it's not been very well received. Basically, they being the public, have accused Ubisoft of just, exploiting people's work, pretty much.
This isn't the first time they tried something like this either.
No, well, they're using it in Beyond Good and Evil 2, but and that's actually with background artwork or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
something
can't
like
remember
that.
exactly what it's for. However, with the Watch Dogs thing, people will be paid, I believe. So if if your song makes it into the game, then you'll actually be, you'll receive a small payment. I don't know exactly how much it is. It says each of the songs that HitRecord commissions and sends to Ubisoft will receive a $2,000 payment, split between each of the contributing artists. As with every HitRecord project, how that's paid is split up. Post online for receipt, blah blah blah. But yeah, so people are quite upset that they're sort of exploiting people's work, pretty much. They've responded today, or was it yesterday? Sorry, today, through the Watch Dogs official channel, and their tweet just says, the Watch Dogs Legion audio team worldwide is already working with professional artists and composers on more than 140 licensed songs and an original score in the game. The additional contributions, no matter how large or small, from anyone within the HitRecord community are completely voluntary, and are meant to give them a chance to have their own creative expressions included in the game.
That just sounds like a bunch of bullplop.
I don't know, man. Like,
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a lot of those shitty ass quote unquote gaming journalism websites that go, oh, we're not going to pay you for your work even though we can because it'll give you exposure. It's just a cop out excuse.
But they are getting paid though.
Yeah,
we don't get paid,
pittance. They're getting paid.
I think as well.
Yeah, but-
Shots fired.
But we can't pay you though.
Zach takes care of us. It's all good.
I don't mind this, to be honest, and I don't mind that they did it with Beyond Good and Evil 2, because again, like they said, it's completely voluntary, so it's not like they're just going on SoundCloud and finding stuff and putting it in and then being like, yeah, we're just giving you exposure. Like, this is totally voluntary. And like, I work as an editor and animator, so I know about freelance work and people being like, we'll give you exposure and stuff, but being in a game that's going to be probably pretty huge is pretty decent exposure, and plus it includes the payment sort of thing. And I'm not defending their being like, they've got to do it, saying that they're not doing anything kind of shady, but I think it's a pretty good opportunity, and I actually think it's good. HitRecord are a decent company. They do other stuff that involves contributing artists and stuff like that, and a lot of companies, a lot of artists do work collaboratively with other artists. If there's animators, they'll often team up with music producers to do little like demo reels and stuff, and then help promote each other. And so I don't think it's totally shady. And I actually think it's pretty cool. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but
I'm with you. I agree. I don't quite get the outroar, to be honest. I don't understand why people are, they're so upset. Like, sure, maybe it's
when you factor in how long and arduous it can be to write stuff like that, and how little they'll actually be paid for their work, it's kind of a slap in the face.
But
sorry, you go. Sorry, my
well,
bad.
yeah, like as Jordan, I mean, it has to keep much people's names. As Ed said, it's as they said, it's voluntary. No,
That's what I was going to say.
And they're just saying that if you want to have a crack at having your song in the game, then here's your chance. And for someone who like dabbles in, I used to do like a lot of music writing and stuff like that. I haven't done in the past few years, but like this would be like something that I would definitely do.
Yeah, the idea, don't get me wrong, the idea is really cool. It's just I feel like they could go about it a bit better.
But how? Because like they have said that they are working with actual artists and composers, and they are going to be using. It's not like they're buying a cheap soundtrack, because I think that's what I think that's what people were upset about, is that it seemed like that perhaps they were going to be, instead of going out and paying actual composers and stuff, they're just getting cheap audio
Well,
work.
they are, because all the work that's getting put into the rest of the soundtrack, that's all got royalties. This hit record stuff won't have royalties. It's just a very small lump payment.
And that's what you think is bad, that they don't have royalties.
Yeah, pretty much. If they're going to continually get money off of someone else's work, that person who put that time into that work at least deserves some recompense over time in form of royalties.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, you look at, say YouTubers and game streamers and stuff, they'll often buy royalty-free music from royalty-free music websites. So they'll pay an initial cost, let's say $100 or whatever, and then be able to use that music with no royalties. And that doesn't mean that artist isn't then getting any kind of contribution. Like, obviously,
but the difference is that there are multiple purchases of that, not just one payment.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know. Like, this seems like it'll get quite confusing if you got multiple different bunch of people. Like, how do you dictate what percentage of royalties this composer gets? Like, if your song's in the game for 30 seconds, what do you get? What, like 0.5%? Like
100% of the earnings.
You just get all the earnings.
Get all of it. But no, even if it was a really small amount, in the long run, royalties would go a lot further for those people than just a single payment.
But it's I'm trying to
it would be difficult to do, yes, but
it's an invitation though. Like they're inviting you. If you want to, you can submit your music. I think it's different. I don't think, if I did this, I wouldn't be upset that I wasn't getting royalties for the game. Personally, like, that's just me personally.
Yeah.
It would probably seem a little less shady if, the quote unquote prize pool was, a bit larger, because, they said what, $2,000 for the whole thing?
No, that's per song, mate. I'm pretty sure.
That's still not much. When you factor in that, all it takes is 20 copies in Australia to make $2,000.
Okay, I'll throw this to you then. What if you go, oh well, fuck you, Ubisoft, I'm not going to go give you that for $2,000. My songs are worth X amount, and you put your album up on SoundCloud on Spotify, and it gets 100,000 spins, and you make like $16.
I would never put my music on Spotify.
Well, that was just as an example. Like,
terrible example. I'd never put my music on Spotify.
But that is another audio service.
I get what you're getting at. It's just it's
like $2,000 is, that's not.
Yeah, $2,000 isn't exactly bad, but once again, when you factor in how much that this game is going to sell, how much they're going to earn off of this, $2,000 is nothing in comparison.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the argument is that it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like,
they're getting something for their effort. They might even just do it for fun. I mean, I assume someone's probably not going to do it for fun per se, but someone might just do it as a passion project.
Yeah, and it also means that if they can approach other game development companies and be like, hey, I've had work that's been featured in Watch Dogs.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like, that's the kind of exposure that you're getting from it. So it's, although that word is a dirty word, exposure. Like, it is going to be, it's going to look good on the resume to be like, hey, so, I worked with HitRecord and I got my song in a Watch Dogs game.
And another thing for me is that they're at least offering the community a chance to actually contribute to the game.
Yeah.
Like, how many how many other publishers or developers have done that?
Digital Extremes.
Like, I don't know who's that.
That's the Warframe devs. They let the community design skins for all the characters, and they give every sale for that skin, because you don't do it with a premium currency, you do it with actual money. Every sale for that skin, I think like 60% of it or something goes to the actual artist.
Who buys skins in Warframe? Nobody.
Me.
Anyway, but like
Jordan does, yeah.
Do you see Sony going, oh hey, we want to team up with HitRecord and you can make a song for The Last of Us, or Activision for COD.
Activision just
No,
hits
you
up
don't.
focus groups for COD.
Anyway, let's move on. I think it's is it 3-1 with Jordan?
Yeah, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
No, like I was just that wasn't like a rubbing it in. That was just a curious.
such a
like,
rub it in. I'm gonna leave the podcast forever.
Moral victory.
All right, another one I saw this week, which might be of interest to you, Jordan, and possibly you, Ed, because I think you might have played The Division. Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Hang on, sorry, I just got to pop up there. The Division director has floated the idea of a single-player narrative-driven game.
See,
Would you play that?
I'm iffy on that because the Division 1 and the Division 2 both had terrible stories. I don't really think that they can do a lot. And to be perfectly honest, as much as I enjoyed the Division 2, the world of the Division just isn't that intriguing. We already have The Last of Us, which is a better version, pretty much. The whole post-apocalypse thing, but...
No, I think it's what we need. Another post-apocalyptic.
Chuck some zombies in there, because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
I agree with Jordan. Like, I love the Division 1 and the Division 2. And although it is a multiplayer game, like, I pretty much played both campaigns solo. And although it would give them the opportunity to put more of an effort into it, I'm kind of over that kind of America is at war with itself narrative. And I just don't see what they'd do that would have the kind of emotional impact of something like The Last of
what
Us.
would be a really cool way to do it is if you played in the perspective of the people that actually set out the virus through the currency, through the dollar bills and everything. If you played that was from that perspective, that would be really cool. Where you play the bad guy.
Yeah, I want a game. There's not enough games where you play as the bad guy. I really want a game where you play as the bad guy.
Spec Ops.
Yeah. Debatably the bad guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Payday. Raid.
Raid, World War II. Zachary's favourite.
Oh, I hated that fucking game.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. If they did do it, I would maybe pick it up and play it, but it's not something that I'm crying out for.
Yeah, I haven't
can't
played
say.
either of them. The Division
Really?
games. No.
Not at all.
No. And I mean,
Like,
but
you
if...
have no friends.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. No. Anyhow, I probably...
I'd play
If
with
it,
you, mate.
if it was decent, thank you. If it was decent, narrative-wise, because obviously Jordan said that the narratives are a bit shoddy. If it was, a decent narrative, I'd probably jump in and give it a go, but I'm not really dying for a single-player
I think
Division game.
I think the biggest issue with just saying that, like with them saying this, is the biggest reason you play the Division is the core gameplay loop. When you take that out of the equation, there's not really anything.
You know what would make it a little bit difficult, though, is that Division comes across as a bit of a politically focused game, somewhat.
No.
And
Ubisoft said it is not a political game.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, their games aren't political at all. So if they're going to put more effort into the story, makes it a little bit hard if they're not going to be, politically charged at all. Yeah, unless you play as Donald Trump.
Huge.
What?
Just my Donald Trump voice.
Jordan, news about the horror game, which I actually did read about this earlier as well.
Yeah.
That's Devotion, yeah?
Yeah. So basically, what happened was there was like a meme or something in the game which referred to like was it like a Winnie the Pooh meme regarding the
So the Chinese is it a premier or is it a prime minister? I can't remember shit. Well, wouldn't be a premier. That's dumb, isn't it?
just a Chinese leader.
President. So there's a reference to him in the game, and it's like a poster, and it's like Winnie the Pooh something moron or something like that. It says, and Chinese players found it, and within days, like the Chinese government had like they'd like taken action against the public. It could be so. What?
Well, so
happened is that
what happened?
The game's
was...
developer, Red Candles, or Red Candlelight, or something. What it's called? They're
like
based
Taiwan
in,
or something.
Yeah, so they're in Taiwan, but
Yeah.
but the publisher is actually in China. So they got sanctioned by the Chinese government. The publisher did, and then the publisher severed ties with the developer, and they'll come out and said that they don't think the game will ever, or they can't see it coming back to Steam in the foreseeable future.
It's a shame because from everything that I can read about it, it is a really good horror game.
Yeah, I wanted to check it out, but it was gone by the time I even realized like what it was.
I guess that's what happens when someone gets offended by being compared to a bear that likes honey.
I saw a trailer for it. I mean, not a trailer, sorry. I saw a video this morning about this whole, thing about how it had been given a 9.8. I think IGN may have given it something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Apparently it was, everyone across the board was saying it was mint, and I was like, oh, well, fuck, I wish I'd actually played this because I'm dying for more excellent horror games to play.
Layers
And
of too.
Zach, I will play Soma this week, I promise.
You haven't played it yet?
No, because I've been gushing over Fire Emblem.
I haven't played Soma either. I got to play it too.
Yeah. Keep saying I'm gonna, and I never do.
That's just disgusting.
Sorry.
You're both fired.
Yes.
And rehired.
Yeah.
Other bit of news. Jordan, you want to go these last two?
This next one is pretty funny. So there's a bootleg Pokemon game for, I think it's iOS and Android coming out called Let's Go Pokemon Mobile. Obviously, it's not legitimate. And basically, a trailer came out about it, and it used some of the animations from the game Pokken Tournament. Are any of you played that?
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, so you'd know that in comparison to the mainline Pokemon games, Pokken Tournament has some like really intricate and detailed animations, to communicate all the different moves and everything. Basically, what happened was there's been this whole backlash about how Game Freak were like, we're not including every Pokemon in Sword and Shield because we need to do all these individual animations, and people have just been looking at the animations for the fights without factoring into all the other animations that go into a game because that's what people do. And they've been using this trailer as a way to go, see, Game Freak are full of shit. Why can these, unofficial people make these awesome animations? Like, there's a quote here going, if I can find it, it is like something. Blastoise just shot out of its cannons, and for people that play the mainline Pokemon games, all of Blastoise's water-based moves shoot out of its forehead for some reason. And yeah, so
why not?
Yeah, so people have been using this as a platform to attack Game Freak because once again, that's what people do. And they don't factor in that a lot of the assets and the animations are ripped from official games. And it's also failing to factor in that this bootleg game also doesn't include every Pokemon. And yeah, it's a really funny situation. Some people are whack.
Fair call.
Cool. And the other bit of news you got there is the fan made RE3 remaster.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, I wasn't really a huge fan of Resident Evil 3, but if they ever bring it back, I'll definitely
It's definitely better than
play
Dino
it.
Crisis.
So it looks like there's a fan remake in the works.
No, not a remake. It is more, the easiest way to describe it would be a texture pack.
Sorry.
So the way it works is it works off of the Dolphin emulator. It's the same emulator I used for when I played Twilight Princess recently.
Yes.
And basically the way that emulator works is people can create texture packs and stuff to increase the resolution and the graphical fidelity of a game. And that's more or less what's happening here. And the most of the work is being handled by machine learning, which helps just upscale all the textures and everything. But I think there's a handful of people, like 4 or 5 people, that are taking the time to make sure it works as well as possible. Not everything is being upscaled. I think it's the inventory screens or menus or whatever. They just can't be upscaled with the technology they're using, and the amount of time and effort it takes to fix all that is just way too high for a free project. Um, but it looks cool. It's weird that Resident Evil 3 is the outlier because Capcom have been going hard with pretty much every other Resident Evil game under the sun. Um,
I reckon they just need to do something else for a while.
Yeah.
Which brings me back because I was waiting for Ed to bring it up. He never did though.
Souls.
Onimusha, mate.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Wow.
hey Zach, you know what they should bring back?
Don't do it.
Onimusha.
Yeah, so that would have probably been my number one game to bring back, but we did talk about it earlier today, so we ruled it out of contention for our 3 lists. But that would definitely be the one game that I would want to see come back.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Just play
is
Sekiro.
it okay? Nah, it's not. It's different, mate.
I know it's different, but it's just
Yeah,
good.
Sekiro
It's
is
too
better.
hard. Is it though?
Yes.
Do you have a sweet demon soul catcher where you can suck up souls like a bloody Hoover?
You can suck up items like a Hoover.
Actually, you can, yeah, and you suck up the enemy souls pretty much.
Damn it! I should know because I've played it briefly before you lock me out.
No, I can make it so you can play again if you promise to play it.
Nah, one day. Cool. All right. Excuse me. Sorry. This cold is a bit nasty. Has anyone got any off-topic sort of chatter they want to bring up? Anything they've seen or heard, eaten?
I finally caught up on the Netflix series Good Girls.
Ugh, never heard of it. Sounds terrible. Is it good?
Oh, it's not
Girls?
too bad. It's pretty much about these 3 mothers that resort to pretty much money laundering and
Oh, yes, I've
counterfeiting
seen
and
this.
everything. And it gets surprisingly good the further on it goes.
Huh.
And I remember hating the first season because they left it off in like the biggest cliffhanger, but the second season ties it up nicely. While also having a cliffhanger at the same time, but not as big a one as for the first season.
Cool.
Yeah,
how
boy.
Many, how many good girls out of 10 would you give it?
Well, there's only 3 of them, so I guess 3 out of 10.
Wow. Average.
No. I'll give it probably a solid 7 or 8.
Nice.
That's a lot of good girls.
Huge amount of good girls. Is anyone going to go see The Lion King?
Yes, tomorrow.
Really?
Yep.
Mate.
That's it.
That early? Early sesh, mate.
Yeah, well, like I say every week, I used to never go to the movies, and then now I go to
You
the
live
movies
there.
every week.
Yeah. Ed, I'm pretty sure Dylan's going for your role here as the moviegoer.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, definitely
I haven't
not.
been in the movies
Well,
in so
no.
long. Actually, no, that's a
This
lie. I went and saw
question will
Spider-Man.
determine who the biggest moviegoer is. Do you get a choc top?
Yes.
No, because I eat clean at the moment.
You can't go to the movies.
I went to the movies the other day and ate
Ed
nothing.
wins.
He would only get a choc top if he had coffee.
Horrendous. Oh yeah,
Yuck.
get me around a mocha chop top.
How good's a choc
Boy.
meat choc top?
Choc mint chop top.
Oh, they're all pretty good, dude.
No,
Take me back.
they're not.
Not
only choc
boysenberry.
meat.
Boysenberry.
You know what the
can eat a
best
dick.
part about a choc top is? The
Yeah,
refrigerated
the boys
chocolate.
and berry.
I used
Oh,
to
don't
I used to
bring that
work
up
for a
here.
cinema, and choc tops cost about 3 cents to make, and they charge like $4.50 for them.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
It's
Was
highway
that in
robbery.
WA?
Yeah, in WA, in Rockingham, mate.
Oh, Rocco, love that.
Good old Rocco.
Regional as.
Rocco's Modern Life.
So the reviews for Lion King haven't been great.
All I've heard is that it's apparently safe. It's just like it relies more on nostalgia more than actual.
Yeah, but isn't that
You know,
what
overall.
what they're all doing? Like with those Disney live actions?
No,
mean,
no,
yeah,
no,
I haven't
not with
seen
Little
too many of
Mermaid.
them.
Have you seen all the people that are being upset that Halle Berry is playing the Little Mermaid?
It's not Halle Berry though.
But yeah, what? It's not.
It's not
what? It's not.
Halle Berry.
Oh, What? I read
Come
somewhere
on,
there was Halle Berry. Well, whatever.
No, you're off your head.
I don't care about Little Mermaid.
You've been reading the Gamer's Den.
Oh yeah. That's
He's been sniffing glue the whole podcast.
It's Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey, whatever. I was close.
From X-Men.
They also announced that I haven't read the article, but I've only sort of seen like the headline, but there's going to be a black female 007 or something, or some sort of form of 007 in the new film. I don't know what it's really about yet, but I saw people getting upset.
Yeah, I think it's they've cast Lashana Lynch, who was in Captain Marvel, as the new 007, but it's not James Bond. Like, it's because obviously 007 is a code name.
Yeah.
And so she's playing 007, but it's not James Bond. Yeah. So, but that's yet to be confirmed and stuff. But it's really cool. She's a great actress, and I think it's about time we've had a change in Bond, 007.
Bond? Who would you give Bond to?
If my initial choice was Idris Elba, I would love to have seen Idris Elba as James Bond. But I'm just as excited about Lashana Lynch. So bring it on.
Do you think that they would transform the whole... Well, not transform, that's the wrong word, but would they recast the whole character as a female?
I mean, they've done it in the past. They had M was a guy, like M, who's the leader of MI6, as a guy, and then M was then Judi Dench, a female, and then went back to.
But I mean, as actual James Bond though, like the main, the main guy.
Yeah.
Or person, sorry.
Well, that's what Lashana Lynch is playing 007, so like she will be the main focus. Do you mean like Jane Bond?
I guess.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's.
I think what he's asking is, do you think they will rewrite James Bond to be a female?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant. Yeah. So, because I assume this 007 with I can't remember the name you said,
Lashana Lynch,
but with the female character, that's I guess some sort of spin-off sort of.
No, it's
film?
the
Is
same.
it? No.
It's in the same franchise. Like it's because the whole thing with, well, it's never really explained in the James Bond movies as to why it's played by a different actor all the time. So, because it's been around since the 60s, 70s, and so it's never really explained why it changes so much. So I don't think they need to be like, oh, this is now a different person who's. It's a spin-off or a spiritual successor or whatever. Like, they could just as easily make her Bond and not really change anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dylan, who would you go as Bond?
Oh, I'm not qualified to answer that. I thought you've
seen like.
It would be one of his textbooks.
What's one of the films you've seen recently?
I saw Spider-Man, I saw Toy Story, and that's basically it. I watched a bit of
Tom Hanks.
Evangelion on Netflix.
So. Let's go with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, please.
I'd actually watch that. So I reckon that'd be alright. I love you. I used to love Tool Time. Alright, and on that note, that's it. Thank you for joining us. If you want to check out all the awesome content, you can go to www.played.com.au, and we will see you next week. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Ciao. That's Spanish for bye, Zach.